In the last video, we put together our constructor function and initialized the manager and minimum contribution variables. We're now going to move immediately onto our approvers variable and also create the contribute function. So let's get started. Back inside of Remix, we'll first initialize the approvers variable as an array of addresses. So we'll say address, the square brackets, we'll mark it as public, and then we'll give it a name of approvers. Do triple check and make sure that you've got address with 2 Ds right here. Again, very easy typo to make. Next, we'll put together the contribute function. Remember, this is going to be called whenever someone wants to send some money to our contract. Now that's kind of a key word right there. Send some money to our contract. Anytime someone is going to send some money, we need to mark the corresponding function as being payable. Don't forget. So we'll say function contribute. We'll mark it as public, and we're going to also mark it as being a payable function. So payable right here is what makes this function able to receive some amount of money. When someone calls this function, we do need to make sure that they pass in the appropriate amount of money, or at least an amount of money greater than the minimum contribution. So at the top of the function, we'll add in a require statement to look at the amount of money that this user is sending and make sure that it is greater than the minimum contribution. So we'll say require message.value greater than minimum contribution, like so. We've used the message variable here quite a bit. Remember, it's a global variable. One of its properties is value. Message.value is the amount in way that someone has sent along with the transaction that is targeting this function. If this person does not send in greater than the minimum contribution, then the require statement right here will throw an error and immediately exit the function. All right, so if they get past that line of code, we can then take this person and add them on to our approvers list. So right underneath this, we can say approvers.push, and then we need to get the address of the person who is sending in this transaction. Again, that's coming from our global variable message, and it will be message.sender, like so. All right, so that's a pretty easy place to get started. We've already got our constructor function and our contribute function. Now, as you well know, I've mentioned several times that this approvers variable is going to eventually run into an issue. So I think that right now, we'll take a break. We're going to come back to the next video and test our contract out. After we test it out, we'll then start to talk about some issues that might arise because we are using an array for this variable right here. So let's start that in the next video.